Hello, my name is Angus, and I'm here to take a look at Split, the film directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan, released in 2016. The main thing I wanted to talk about is character development, but in more than just dialogue, but specifically sequencing and framing. To me, Split tells most of Casey Cook's story in silence and complicity, which is a typical reaction to abuse or trauma. Let's take a look at this first scene, for example.
Hey! Pardon me, sir, I think you have the wrong car.
I think the instinctive reaction to the kidnapping scene of arguably main character, Casey Cook, is not one unlike a horror film. You almost want to scream, do something, or run away, but she stays almost entirely still, frozen in fear. We find out later that she reacts this way for a reason, and this isn't the first time she's been in a situation like this. Compare this scene to the next. The scene is interesting because while it is a flashback, it's kind of a stark contrast between Casey from present day being kidnapped and just crying in silence to, pointing a shotgun at her uncle even though she's a child. She's trying to stand up for herself, clearly. The shotgun aimed at her uncle here is important and almost parallel to a later scene in the film. We are talking about character development here, so...
Casey? I'm your uncle. Stop it, Casey. Put that gun down.
Now, in my opinion, this is where Split's editing and directing is at its best. Here we are quite literally seeing the parallel between present-day Casey and childhood Casey. I especially want to note that we see her in the present, screaming and fighting for her life, which is the first time we've seen anything like that in the first 2 hours of the movie, nearly, while the scene from the past has her visibly afraid and anxious. Note that her uncle and abuser approaches her from the right side of the frame in the past, the same direction she aims the shotgun at her current kidnapper.
Same way. Heart attack. But you don't need to worry. I'm going to take care of you.
I'd also like to, at the very least, mention how, after this shot, she aims the gun at seemingly us, the viewer, but it's also possible that it's being pointed at her childhood self. It's also entirely plausible that this is her equivalent to McAvoy's Beast, in essence killing her past self and foregoing complicity and silence in favour of self-defense. There's a physiological term known as fight or flight response. How do we respond to stressful and frightening events? Do we run, or do we fight? Throughout the film, Casey tended towards the flight response, with the exceptions of being both scenes she had shotgun in hand. As a child, she hesitated to pull the trigger, but in present day, that is not the case at all. And then comes the last 10 minutes of Split, where I feel like it fucks up all that character development, tension, and overall message of overcoming trauma makes people stronger, which, although is quite over the top in the way it presents it, is a nice sentiment. Unfortunately, in the last scene, I feel as though the camera lingers on Casey a little too long. We just saw her riddle McAvoy's roided beast body with shotgun shells, and now she's dead silent again, just like the first few minutes of the movie. I'd really like to think the next lingering shot of a lion standing tall, an animal which is commonly associated with pride and bravery, is symbolic of her standing up for herself. But I also wish Split just gave me any kind of closure. I won't even get into the argument of whether Split being a sequel to Shyamalan's film from the year 2000 Unbreakable is pure genius or directorial circle jerk. I think I'll let you decide that for yourself. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm pretty new to this whole thing, but if you enjoyed and would like to see more content like this, please subscribe. And tell me in the comments what movies I should critique and analyze next. Catch you later.